Hey guys, Tata here. I'm hopping on with you because I wanted to try a little bit something different. I don't know if you're like me, but oftentimes it can be a struggle to know what to eat when we're trying to follow a healthy, nutritious, daily diet. And I don't like the word diet because oftentimes I feel that we think we got to go on a diet, and I've learned that I don't believe in diets because diets don't work. And as you can see, it's kind of a mess in the kitchen because I'm busy cooking. I need to have like something behind me to block everything else out, right? Note to self for next time. Anyway, I am making a very veggie Italian spaghetti squash recipe that I found, and I am just in love with it so far. It smells amazing, and I wanted to share it with each of you. So I'm going to show you what it is that it entails and what I am putting in this recipe. The first thing, obviously, is that spaghetti squash. Now, I don't know if many of you have ever done a spaghetti squash. I never had. So here it is right there. So I don't know how many of you know this, but the outside of that squash, it's like a bowling ball or a coconut. It is hard. I was reading the recipe and they said find a sharp knife to cut it. I'm like, it can't be that bad. It is. It's a tough cookie right there. So what you do is you take that spaghetti squash, you make with a sharp knife, you cut. You try to make some cuts on the side, 4 to 5 of them. Chuck it in the microwave and microwave it for 2 minutes to soften that outer shell. And then what you do, as you saw with the squash, and I can re-show you just in case some of you are just hopping on, welcome guys. I cut it in half. As you can see, it's cut in half. And then what I did after cutting it in half is I cut the end off. There was the stem. I cut that end off of it. So what I did from there is I lined the pan with the tin foil, and then I sprayed it with extra virgin olive oil cooking spray. And you can use coconut oil, you can do that, whatever you want. And then the next thing that I did was I seasoned it with Italian seasoning and garlic salt. You can put some pepper in there if you want, and I used an onion salt type seasoning that I had. Your choice. And obviously if we're trying to be careful in our sodium too, because high sodium isn't always the wisest thing. So be smart about your seasoning as well, but definitely the seasoning smells amazing. It's definitely going to add some great flavor to the recipe. The next thing I had to do was get my vegetables prepared, and so here are my vegetables right here. So you can buy carrots, grate them up. You don't have to have them grated. I just thought that this would be kind of cool for the recipe. So I've got the grated carrots, I've got the water chestnuts, the celery, I've got the green beans, and then I've got my sugar snap pea pods. And I'm going to bring you on over here to my wok. As you can see in the wok, and bear with me, I'm doing this for the first time and learning. I've got all the vegetables in here and they are sauteing. I put a little bit of extra virgin olive oil down just to give it some coating. And then I did a little bit of seasoning on these bad boys as well. And so they're sauteing. Now, the spaghetti squash has been in the oven at 400 degrees for 30 to 40 minutes. We're coming on about 40 minutes right now, and it's going to be perfect. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a fork, and I'm going to scrape the inside of that squash out, and it's going to become spaghetti. Hence the reason it's called spaghetti squash. And then I'm going to put that spaghetti squash down. I'm going to put my vegetables on top, and I'm going to enjoy it. Now my husband's going to add some shrimp to it. He has shrimp out on a cedar plank on the grill. That will be completed. He's going to add some shrimp to his recipe of this. You could do that too. You could add some chicken, you could add some beef, whatever you want. But I love this recipe because, I really encourage everybody to make sure you've got all your macronutrients. And what are macronutrients, Tata? Those are your fats, your carbohydrates, and your proteins. And obviously, if we're trying to get rid of fat, we want to eat a low-fat diet, right? We want to make sure that our fat intake is at the lower end of the spectrum. And so this recipe is awesome because it is very low fat. In fact, I really don't think out of all that I have here, even the spaghetti squash, I really don't believe, other than that olive oil coating, there is no fat. None of these vegetables have any fat in them. They have the carbohydrates, the good carbohydrates, and we got some protein going in. You don't get protein just from your meats, guys. Protein comes from vegetables as well. It's not as high as the meats, but it's great protein sources as well. So that's this recipe. I can't wait to enjoy it. I hope each of you will give it a try. And I'd love if you find this to be an awesome recipe, if you'd like to try it, if you love this video, if you'd like to see more of these videos, drop that in the comments. And if you do try it, drop it in the comments of what you think of it, because I can't wait to hear what you think of this recipe as well. Thanks for joining me, guys. I will see you later today at Tata's 5 to 10 at 5:10.